Hi, sorry about that. I really forgot I had that stuff still turned on. Um, yeah, anyway, talk about Satan. No, I don't know. It was one of the people. I'll watch some ones that I truly believe are my adversaries, but I'll watch them because I want to see what's going on in their heads and what they're telling people because if there's anything that irks me, that's people leading people wrong. It really bothers me. So yeah, that's a big deal to me. So anyway, Tony, I was talking about that mess in Oakland, California, as far as the homeless. Um, I've watched a lot of those too, and having been homeless myself, I actually had a job that I wasn't getting paid. He kept stringing us along because I had a drywall business. So my kids and I ended up on a mountain with no tent at first, and it was snowing like for a while. And then a lady came along and helped me with the tent, helped me get in town so I could get some food. I eventually got a job cleaning cabins and things got a little better. But for a while there in Arizona, things were really bad. And that wasn't the first time or the last time because the times that I ran away when I was young, I didn't have a place to stay. So that's when I was like starving for a couple weeks and, all kinds of things. But so, I mean, I do have a great compassion for people that don't have a place to live. You know, it's a passion of mine and I don't see the sense in it. I really don't. And when people talk about how proud they are of our soldiers and everything, and I've always fought my own battles. I would never, ever want anybody to go to another country in my name and shoot the piss out of them, excuse me, and say they did it for me. That's the way I feel. Now, if you come on my property and you piss with me, excuse my language, you might get hurt. Maybe. I'd ask you to leave, but if that didn't work and it got physical, I'd definitely be hurting somebody because I can't. But I probably wouldn't and I wouldn't want to. And very few times in my life have I had to, but I've had to. But I won't say that I really and I had non-vet friends. I was married to a Korean War vet. Um, I've been in situations that were pretty scary in my life, and I still. And most of the people I know that had been in actual wars are sorry they ever had to be. That's the hell of it right there. Not only are they sorry, they're ashamed and they could barely live with themselves, you know. So that should say something. If 9/10 of the soldiers that have been soldiers in wartime say that they would never do it again, well, doesn't that scream that something's wrong with the whole thing? And mothers that would raise their children to be soldiers, what is wrong with your flipping heads? You know, that you would let your child go and kill somebody else's child in the name of saving your ass and your freedom. Because we're not free anyway, or haven't paid your property taxes yet this year, you know? So try not paying those. See what happens, and then tell me you're free when your taxes go for all their bullshit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, paying taxes for kids to go to school in a school system called the Dragons. Um, why should I pay taxes when I took my kids out of public school? Why the hell should I? You know, but they don't give a shit. If you don't, then you're in jeopardy of being jailed. That's not free, you know. So yeah, it's a little bit of a rant on the way this world is nowadays, but so be it. You know, If more people spoke up and if more people said no, absolutely not, in our country, in every country in the world. I belong to a group called the Global Sisterhood, and we all feel the same way all over the planet. It's only the ones with lacking Mother Nature within themselves that would even think that anything's okay with that at any time. You know, it's like raising your child to be a bully or to be racist or any of that. You are endangering your child by saying these things are okay. And the world needs to say, no, it's not okay. We're sick of it. We don't want to fight each other. We don't want to hurt each other. What the hell is wrong with you? You know, when more people around the world start saying no, that's when things will change. How could they if we don't, right? Now, I started this back in 1969. This is nothing new to me. I was protesting back then against the Nam War. I got in some big trouble for it because I wasn't very old, but got grounded. But I had picket signs and I was out there. I had a pretty good understanding of it too because I had a paper out and I read the headlines on a daily basis and the body counts we saw on a daily basis, you know. And I had a cousin over there. And I didn't, I mean, he was my adopted cousin, quite a bit older, but I really didn't want to see him die, you know. I really didn't even like him all that much, but he was kind of strange, but I sure didn't want to see him die, you know. So that's a big deal. Yeah. I take it really seriously. I really do. And then I was raised by racist. I used to think of them as more Republicans, and now the Democrats are worse than anybody. That's why when I could vote, I joined the Independent Party when Ross Perot was going to be president till they threatened his daughter at her wedding. Then he stepped down from the race. But they laughed at him. He had all these pie charts and he was a businessman, well to do, just like Trump. Maybe not as big, but he had the same ideals as far as running the country like a business. I really loved that little old man. I was sad to hear he passed away here last couple weeks ago. It was. Yeah, he's a really nice guy, you know. And I really do look up to older gentlemen that try to do things in even with a more gentle nature than I do. And in fact, I listen to a young gentleman that has a more gentle nature than I do, and I know he's truthful and he loves people. And that's a number one criteria. And I'm not putting nobody down. I have my moments when I swear like a sailor. If I'm pissed, I'll get radical. I have my moments, you know. Which reminds me, my daughter in law contacted me. I had talked to all three of my granddaughters on Sunday, which was really awesome. The little one is so tiny, she's got a squeaky toddler voice, you know, and then on up to 14, you know. So the three of them, and my oldest one has issues with impulse control and anger issues and whatnot in life. And she was telling me how she got bullied 9 times this year in school. And she's taller than all the boys, you know. And I know the feeling. I really do. Well, the same exact thing happened to her that happened to me. She cut her hair. I cut my hair because she did, because I knew what happened to her without her even saying anything. A boy pulled her hair. her ponytail. She had really long, beautiful. They've got two of them have kind of light brown, ash colored hair. That's almost like my oldest son is blonde, but underneath he's got darker hair, and his littlest one is blonde. And but I knew that they had pulled on her, and yeah, the boy that did it to me, I ran him down and was going to cave his head into the asphalt until I controlled myself. But for a minute there, he was in danger, you know. But he ended up cracking my head open with a bat, that same kid. I should have cracked his head on the pavement. But he started that crap with me, you know. So somebody else said he did it because he liked me. Perhaps, you know. But what a weird way to show it, right? So, anyway, it's a long time ago. I'm thankful that my head did heal. It took a very long time. I had literally a crack down the back of my head. Total concussion. While I laid there, I died and came back and walked home 9 blocks and barely made it home. Then they took me to the emergency room. And so, yeah. But anyway. So I got a little bit of an insight of what it's like not to actually be in this vessel, you know. And I credit God for saving me and putting me here so I can talk to the people that really need a good friend. So, I know I do. Without my good friends out there, I'd be really lonely and sad. I wish a lot of you lived closer, but you know, it's nice just to know that you are there. So, like I say, I invited people over from Facebook. I don't know if they have enough internet or whatever to come over on YouTube and listen and participate and talk, get to know some people. I don't know, but it'd be nice if they did because I think there's a couple people in particular that could use some good friends. Oh, have you noticed? I notice people getting the words when they're reading an article, they'll say peculiar instead of particular, which changes the meaning of the whole thing. You know, being peculiar, strange, and particular, specific. You know, like particularly individual, meaning by itself, and peculiarly odd, out of the normal, or peculiar onto itself. Now, particular could be onto itself too, but they do have different meanings, you know. But I've noticed that people mix those two words up, which changes the meaning of what they're talking about. If I say that this guy was so weird, he was particular, that doesn't make sense. But if I say this guy was so weird, he was peculiar, yeah. Or if I say, um, in this recipe, in particular, you don't put any sugar. Well, then if I said in this recipe, in peculiar, you don't put any sugar, that doesn't make sense. So when they're reading these articles and they say peculiar instead of particular, it changes the meaning. It drives me batty. I'm like, oh my God, you're supposed to be reporting the news. Learn how to read. You know, I know nobody's perfect, but you know, I have to bring it to everybody's attention. I'll call this like part two, the last one, sort of, and talking about peculiar and particular because the difference, because I really think they don't know, you know. You might know the people I'm talking about too. So it's not like Robin's Hood or nothing. He knows the word peculiar and particular. In particular, he knows peculiar. Yeah, he knows me. so, so anyway, but so let's see what else is going on today. Um, yeah, I think it is important who people follow as far as these little sayings out there, like I was getting at yesterday. It's really daunting for people that are going through hell to have everybody so happy, happy, happy all around them. You know, it's difficult. I mean, even if you're sad, you can hear a joke and you're going to crack up. But to have all these people, it's like it makes me feel like, what? Haven't you been beat on enough? Don't you know what true hell is? Don't you look out in the world and have enough compassion that you carry some of that sorrow for them? What is your effing problem? It just drives me crazy because it's not like I want to walk around all somber every day and unhappy or down in the dumps or anything. I'm happy every day. It's just, I can't deal with their phony shit. I just can't handle it. I've known so many, and a lot of them, if they're not well to do, they wish they were and they act like they were, and that's the way these stuck up bastards act. Like everything's happy. Oh, don't talk about my drug addict kid, or don't talk about my father was a pedophile. I'm just saying, no, I don't think my birth father was, but, or the thing that raised me for that matter, even though he was pretty crude. But I'm just saying, let's not talk about the core, the issues in the family or the situation. God forbid that somebody would look down on me like I would ever follow anybody's advice actually anyway, because I wouldn't. But these people are out there like all flowers and sunshine, and it just seems so fake. It's unbearable. I I don't know about anybody else, but what do you feel about that crap when you hear people say, "Oh, stay positive," or have you heard the words, "You're being negative"? Well, oh my God, you just punched me in my face. I think I'll smile now. Thank you. You know, wow, look at that lady. Ah. Well, anyway, um, it's just so phony. I can't deal with it. So, and I probably laugh every day, and I feel like crying every day. You know, after a while, after your 20s and 30s, you're still kind of happy go lucky, and you don't feel like the weight of the world's on your shoulders quite yet. But the time you're 40, it starts kind of creeping in, and 50. And by the time you're 60, you kind of learn how to, in your 50s, you start kind of learning how to deal with all the pain that you've seen and everybody else's pain that you see them going through. And it gets easier to well, I don't tolerate it. I don't ignore it. I'll never ignore it. um I deal with it. That's how I do it. I deal with it on a daily basis, second by second. I have God in my heart. I mentally ask for a lot of help. um I try to find the right words through grace, so the grace of God, so I'm not hurting anybody with my mouth. But there's sometimes some people need to be hurt with my mouth or other things, you know, and that's true. They do. They need to learn their lessons, and I really think some of these lottie da bastards haven't been hurt enough. I'm not saying I want them to be hurt, But I want God to scare them so bad. They're so scared that they start crying and they can't move. I want them to literally see the fear of God. And I don't care if it takes Satan to do it or how he's going to do it to them. I don't care as long as it's accomplished, because we're all going to live after this. I did before and I will again. It's just they need to learn a big lesson. They really do. So, and it's imperative that we don't ever let anybody, another fellow human being, be hurt and not help, no matter who. That's a fact. Now, if there's some narcissist MFer out there with a big mouth and they're just don't care about anything or anybody, um, those are the ones I'm talking about. Those are the ones that need the fear of God. So some of us already saw that displayed through the people that we were forced to be around. So, okay, I'm going to let you go. Um, Thanks for joining me. Uh, the ones that are unhappy, I'm not going to sit there and tell you to be happy, 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 and this is how you do it. I'm going to tell you to go out and try and make somebody else smile. That's your best bet. If you can make another sad person smile for a second, you won the battle. That'll help you. And I do say smile at yourself in the mirror at least once a day. And it helps increase the happy endorphins inside you. It really does. Even smile when you're sad. Now, that's not fakeness, that's a physical reaction, and that's our human body. And it really does help. And you'll see if you can force yourself to smile once a day, or actually smile once a day, it does help. Trust me. Please trust me. So, I'd rather die than hurt anybody. That's how much you can trust me. It's not like I'm going to just put my head down and let you step all over me or anything like that. It's just that I'm not going to go out of my way to do anything intentionally or scheme or do anything like that to hurt another human. That's just the way I roll. So, well, thank you for joining me, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a really good day or night wherever you're at. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.